Thank you for tuning in to the Queen's Court podcast, a space curated for women by women. Here we celebrate empowerment, faith, sisterhood, and growth. So pull up a seat, settle in, and let's step into the rain room together.
Welcome back to the Queen's Court, a space curated for women by women where faith, sisterhood, and real conversations meet. I'm your host, Neicey Ford, and today's episode is titled, There is No Timeline on Purpose. So yesterday, I was having a conversation with myself, and I do that, from time to time. But out of nowhere, the question came to my mind, which is it too late to change careers? If you guys have been following, you know that I just had a birthday and turned 51 a couple of weeks ago. And that question came to me and I wondered, at 51, is it really too late for me to change careers? Is it too late to chase the dreams that you've put on hold? Somewhere along the way, I feel like society has convinced us that there's a timeline on fulfilling our dreams, that if it hasn't happened by the age of 30, 40, shoot, even 50, then we've missed our moment. So we allow the dreams to just sit dormant, or even worse, we allow them to die because we think we should have, we should have it all figured out. But I need to ask you something. Who told you that? You know how adults ask kids, and even when we were younger, we had adults ask us, what do you want to be when you grow up? Well, for me, when I was younger, I had always wanted to be the same two things, which was an author and a nurse. And at one point, I was well on my way. When I graduated from high school, I had a scholarship to the University of Kentucky, like a lot of my peers who graduated from DuPont Manual High School. Shout out to the Rams, as they did. But life happened in a way that I wasn't prepared for. And I've mentioned this in several other podcasts, how my mom passed away on the day that I graduated from high school. And so that changed everything for me. That version of my dream was then put on pause, but not because I wasn't capable, but because it required something different from me in that specific season. But the one thing that I've come to understand is this, that God's delay is not God's denial. So I was talking to a woman earlier who I call mom, and I was sharing with her about the conversation that I had with myself. And the first thing that came to mind when thinking about this was how folks say, if you want to make God laugh, then tell him your plans. Even with that, things may not happen when you plan them. It may not even look like how you imagined it, but that doesn't mean that it's not still yours. So for me, when I had to put my dreams on hold, what I had to do was pivot. And we've talked about pivoting in previous episode as well. I went back to school several times actually, but the times that I went back, they obviously weren't part of the plan either because life kept lifing. The last time I went back to school, which was a couple of years ago, I decided to change my concentration altogether. So when I was one of the other things that I am very passionate about is business. So instead of going back to nursing, I went back to business school, which again, like I said, is something that I absolutely love. And not that I didn't or don't still have a love for nursing, because I truly do have a passion for helping people. However, the desire for me was stronger when I was younger. And I do feel like that maybe it was due to the care that I was providing for my mother. While I was gaining the knowledge in the business arena, I was also writing books. So not one book, not two books, but 11. And it was funny because I didn't realize how many books I had actually written until I was on Amazon trying to send a lady the link for one of the books, and I kept scrolling. I was like, dang, like I really have written a lot of books. But anyway, so I've written 11 books. I've produced 3 stage plays. And just recently, as you guys know, I launched my own publishing company. So here's what I need you to hear, because there is a reason that I'm saying this. It may have taken me a little longer than others, but in a couple of months, I will be graduating with my bachelor's degree. And again, that second concentration that I love, business. And I will be able to say that I didn't quit. I just kept going. And more than anything, I will have made my daughters very proud because they get to see in real time what it looks like to keep growing and to keep going, to keep persevering when life knocks the wind out of you, to keep navigating around roadblocks that are placed in your way. And I'm literally a walking testimony of what doesn't break us builds us. So, with that, I'm still not done because God willing, in August, I'll be starting my master's journey because growth for me, didn't stop at survival. It actually continues through purpose. So, when people ask me, is it too late? For them to dream, or too late for them to change careers or go back to school. I don't answer from hypotheticals or theory. I answer straight from experience. And the answer is no. Because here's the truth. There's no timeline on growth. You're not starting over. You're actually just starting from experience. And as we've heard so many times, like, experience is the greatest or the best teacher. So you have a lot to start your transition with, especially if you are a seasoned adult, because you've lived through some things and you have that experience that you can talk about. Lived experience, again, is one of the best experiences for me, or best teachers for me. And your dreams, they don't expire just because time has passed. If I stop dreaming, what's left to live for? Dreaming for me is what keeps me moving. It's what keeps me growing. And people say, well, Pisceans are dreamers. And maybe that's not a bad thing because everything that I've built has started as a dream that I refuse to let die. So to the woman listening to this, the one who feels like she's too old to dream, or the one who paused her dreams because maybe she was like me and became a teenage, and was a teenage parent, or paused her dreams for marriage, life, family, or even just for survival. Hear me when I say this. You are not too late. You're still here, which means that there's still more in you. Like, you have a purpose. There's more to build, more to create. So I need you to get your journal, write what they say, write the vision and make it plain, because those seeds that were planted in you, it's time for them to grow. Purpose doesn't expire, and there's no age limit on dreaming, despite what we've been told in the past, or despite what we may even have in our minds as a belief. So you're not too late. You're actually right on time. I know this was short, but I was actually, like I said, it just came to mind to me yesterday. And then a friend of mine and I started reading Tabitha Brown's book today, and she was talking about not being too old to dream. And I was like, all right, so maybe I do need to go on here and just put this little short one out there. So again, I know it's short, but I just wanted to get on here to encourage somebody, because a lot of us are sitting with dreams just, again, lying dormant. And if you don't do something with them, you are going to let those dreams die. And that's not their purpose. You are the purpose. And whatever that dream is, He planted those seeds. You are responsible for watering those and allowing them to grow. So again, write the vision, make it plain, but also you have to do the work, like, do what you can and let God do the rest. But He's already planted those seeds. So let's get on the purpose. And I'm always here if you need me. So again, I know this was short, but I hope it spoke to somebody. And if it spoke to you, make sure that you're following the Queen's Court on Apple, Spotify, and YouTube. You can also follow on the social media platforms of Instagram at the Queen's Court Pod, and TikTok at the Rain Room, and that is the REIGN room. And you can also share this with another woman who needs the reminder that she's not too late, that she is still growing. So I hope whatever your dream is, that you continue to pursue it, and don't let anyone or anybody tell you that you are too old to dream, because you are definitely not. Thank you for joining the Queen's Court, and I will see you next time in the Rain Room.
Thank you for joining us in the Queen's Court today. Don't forget to subscribe, share, and download so you never miss an episode. Until next time, keep reigning with purpose and walking in power.